morning. Let's get it. How we doing? Previously on KIMBA TV. All right, any questions, y'all? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Obviously, S&P, I'm ready for a little bit of a long. We could have a bounce at the point of control. If this zone does look strong, I would like a bigger pullback. So we've had that level identified for quite some time. Bitcoin, golden pocket has to turn into support. If it's resistance, then I'll see you at 110. All right. Pixel perfect. We have the RTH and the ETH levels to the upside. We have levels to the downside. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Yeah, definitely just waiting for that gap play. So 114 and really the 110 zone looks really interesting for longs. And then we have levels to the upside as well. So higher time frame, still would like to get into the 130s. Medium time frame, could there be a little bit of a pullback to like 114, 110? Sure. And then smaller time frame for today, if S&P can get into like 6,400 plus on CFD pricing, then I would be thinking about maybe a short, maybe like 64, anything above 6,400 really. All right, 90 seconds on the first 30-minute candle close. Let's go, Lions, how we do it. All right, any questions? Danny Bellagio. What's going on, Danny? How you doing, Danny? Can I get it to you, Danny? All right, any questions? Konstantinos from YouTube says, hey, Kimba, bro, can you give us ETH analysis? I've already done it so many times. I would encourage you to, watch all of the streams and just kind of stay up to date. Long story short, it's like any altcoin, right? Anytime you get a pullback, look for longs. I wouldn't short until 4,100. So yeah, if you remember, we said stay above here and you'll rotate to the high, value high. So maybe there's a short to be had up here, like on like some swing fail thing. But anytime you get a pullback, look for longs. So just be prepared. I didn't get everything filled, but I got a good chunk filled on Sol. Already the stop loss is in profit. We talked about this. Yeah, so make sure you are aware of that. Yeah, we talked about ETH BTC, so this is ETH BTC. And then you don't want to get any kind of loss. Okay, then you're going to probably have to look at this again. All right, and that's actually not that bad because on the higher time frame, like you can kind of see the trident trying to play out, so that's okay. So this kind of might be interesting levels, and then these are daily candles, right? So like imagine if this happens through August and then we have rate cuts in September. Holy shit. Bugatti. All right. Yeah, this I think could still come back further back down. Yeah, but that would be maybe where I would think about shorting. Otherwise, try to, long every pullback. Grimes, what's going on? Zerp, what's going on? 21 Slippy says, I don't know what I'm doing. You have a recommendation. You wanted to short 6.4 on S&P, right? No, Slippage, try to listen to what I say every single day to everybody, Slippage. We never long or short a random level. We long or short data. So yes, once we hit the biggest boo gamma at 63.85, you just said, and now it's kind of like 64.25, right? Make sure you rewind and get caught up. That 6.4 to 6.425 for CFD is kind of like what I like. Yeah, but if we get up there and we don't have the bearish div that I'm looking for, I'm not going to short it. But we never long or short levels. It's always data. Slit9 says, Kimba, are you still looking for a short? As long as you understand the context in which I'm going to be taking it, yes. Higher time frame. Are you talking about Bitcoin or S&P? So did you kind of get to hear the way that I was explaining like the order flow for today? I think S&P, okay, got you, Slit9. So first things first, I want you to kind of follow along with me. Would you say that the selling pressure has been disappearing? Can you see that visually? And can you see how like the buying pressure hasn't really even kicked in yet per se? And every single time you get a little bit of buying pressure, S&P jumps a lot. Because why? Nobody is selling. So in an environment like that, that's kind of shitty to short, right? No one is shorting. Nobody is selling except for like our dumbasses. And since there's no selling pressure, even when there's just a little bit of buying pressure, the price reacts significantly. Not significantly, but like it makes a fucking higher high and whatnot. I would love to have been able to see like a clear bear div. You know? I thought we would get like a 3 drives, simple ass bear div. I don't know if it's trustable right now. So instead of trying to like get pixel perfect, I'll just let it lose some. Like, were you here when I was talking about, well, if it really is, if it's not bullish, it would lose this. It didn't lose it. You know, and it has now made another higher high. So I will probably just wait to let it chill out. But yeah, theoretically, I think there could be a nice little pullback on S&P, but maybe the Monday short is better. You know, and I think that the S&P short is going to have a pretty good overlap with a potential short that we want to see on Bitcoin. So this isn't my first rodeo where we were having or looking at a pretty nice little short setup on TradFi on Thursday and Friday, and we ended up needing to be patient until Monday. But my objective for today isn't to necessarily get filled on the short. I just want to make sure I do the right thing and not get got. But you see how like the selling pressure is disappearing, and every single time a little bit of buying pressure kicks in, it makes a higher high. That's a pretty scary environment to short, ain't it? So when you ask me, hey, are you still looking for a short? Yeah, but there ain't nothing short about order flow right now. So it would have been nice to get a 3 drives, like a really clean bearish 3 drives bearish div. But yeah, nothing here yet. And maybe in 8 minutes you get a SFP on the 30-minute. That's also like out. So for now, I will. I think maybe the 30-minute SFP could be the start. Yeah, but order flow ain't quite there yet. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to do. I think the higher probability is I'm going to try to do the right thing and eventually get left behind. So I definitely think the plan B is going to be the one that I'm going to end up taking, brother, not plan A. Bitcoin, I would love plan A. Good tech, what's going on? Zine says with Bitcoin velocity, you're going to get that short in 2 months. Yeah, but you know, Trump is fucking going to the Federal Reserve at 4 o'clock. Can you imagine the headlines? Jerome Powell fired under executive order. See ya. Markets would lose all confidence. I mean, at least for like 72 hours, it'd be a shit show, right? I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying he's going to the Federal Reserve at 4 o'clock. Last year is when I started talking about, I think 2025 is bullish the whole year. I was saying that shit last year. And I'm not trying to say that as a, I told you this, it's exactly as I predict. I'm not saying it in that tone. What I'm trying to get you to understand is, I think you need to be thinking really far in advance, farther than you are right now, so you don't have these flippity-floppity scenarios.
You just said.
Okay, you need to have a higher time frame, a medium time frame, and a smaller. On the smaller, you know, if you're playing full rotate, daily rotation, previous day values, yes, you have, you know, settlement. Yes, you have the right to flip-flop. But like 121 is a medium time frame, higher time frame trade. Okay, what I mean by that is on the higher time frame, I'm swinging for 130, 150, 170, 180. You understand, right? Silver Wolf. And I'm not saying that that shit's going to happen before the end of the year. You know, it might be Q2 of next year. Okay. We have to figure out when we're going to get rate cuts, if any. All right. Now, in order for me to responsibly swing for home runs, I don't know about you, but I've round tripped a lot of amazing longs the last 8 to 10 months. One of the things that I realized is, I need to do something about that because I pissed away like millions of testnet funds. Okay. So the way that I'm approaching this is every single big pullback, I'm looking to long. Okay. And I'm not shaving or TPing responsibly. Okay. I'm shaving 1%, 2%, 3% max at these levels to the upside. So what I'm doing is I'm hedge shorting. So whether it's 121, which is Kimba's magic trick and Consuela's quinceañera, whether it's the RTH all-time high or the ETH all-time high, these levels have not changed weeks and months, right? So yes, if the data looks good, I will always hedge short. And I'm not trying to juice on these shorts. I'm okay to get round tripped. Okay? What I'm using the hedge shorts for, Silver Wolf, is one, I'm not shaving or TPing as much of the longs as I should, right? So I'm trying to responsibly swing for a home run on the longs. If I get stopped out on the short, what happens when I get stopped out on a short? I market buy, right? So I'm basically getting paid because I'm going to realize a little bit of tiny profit. I'm basically getting paid a little bit of money to market smash pump in the direction that I want. So I'm waiting for the short to get round tripped and stopped out. I want that because the longs are good to go. And hopefully, since the short is running, I can be aggressive with adding and taking longs. Because if I take a loss on those long attempts, it just comes out of the realized profits of the short. So if I do end up taking a loss, so for example, short hedge, okay? That allows, let's say that I wanted to be aggressive with the long. Let's say that it went like this and I take a little bit of a loss, okay? I just need to make sure that this loss is now buffered and I get that back, so I can't have my stop loss here in profit. I have to move it here now. Does that make sense? So when I take that loss here, realize it here, I go, aha, all right, that comes out of this one. Now I can't do it because I gambled with these profits. So I have to respect that. But yes, I would love to take a short here, but I don't want you to think that I'm bearish. I'm not. On the higher time frame, I'm bullish. So I would love to take a short here, but that's going to give me the opportunity to, one, protect longs in case we do the gap fill at 114. And if we do go all the way back down to 109 to do a bullish retest of the RTH imbalance. And so if I try to get hella aggressive here on this long and I completely fuck up and I put blind limits in, I go pink and it's just, and it's wrong. I have to do this and I have to put my stop loss right here. All right. And if I get really lucky and this works out and I have pixel perfect long or something like that, I don't really have to close anything. I don't care about the short, you know? And then right around here, I will get closed. I'll realize whatever profits that I needed to make sure that all of this was a free roll. And that's it. I'm good to go. Silver Wolf says, you shaving the long with the short. I get it. I've been here every day for the past 2 months. Nice, Silver Wolf. So yeah, and you know what, Silver Wolf, I would love to be able to see that in the next 90 minutes with you. Do you understand, Silver Wolf, that ETH already did the magic trick? Therefore, you would want the RTH session to be when it goes to the quinceanera. You understand? ETH going back up there means nothing anymore. Means nothing. It has to be during RTH. So, yeah, man. If it doesn't go there in the next 90 minutes, you really have to start thinking about like the potential for a failed auction already forming without the RTH getting that high. So like the highest you might get on CME might end up being like a 121, 165 again. Like it'll just leave the bad high like that and it won't let anybody in. It'll be like an 886 maybe. So the fact that it already cleaned it on ETH contract switch means that it would have to grab it during RTH, Silver Wolf. This is electronic trading hours. And this is, there you go, RTH. So if it could do this in the next 90 minutes, holy fuck, market makers. There's no way though, right? There's no way. They're listening to the stream, watching the stream right now, just laughing. Look at this dumbass thinking we're going to give it to him. Oh, we're going to give it to him, but not what he wants. Trembler says, I don't know enough to ask an intelligent question yet. I don't know if there's such thing as an intelligent question. A question is a question. So, you know what, Trembler? I always tell people this. I don't care if you're the best. I don't need you to be the best trader. Just give me your best. If I feel like you're just kind of half-assing it and you're like the type to do the bare minimum, I don't think you're ever going to win, and the AI is probably not even going to show me your question, to be honest. The chat that I see isn't the chat that you guys see. Mine is like filtered, so sometimes you might ask me something and I genuinely won't see it. I've been learning about volume profile, open interest, CVD, divergence, fibs. That's fucking awesome. There is so much to learn on each of these topics. There is, brother. And I am just scratching the surface. But what else should be on my list to learn about? No, I mean, just take it bit by bit, Trembler. Right? So volume profile, like the basic concept is value area high, value area low, and point of control, right? And you're going to have two tools that you can use. Visual range volume profile and fixed range volume profile. Once you get into fixed range volume profile, you're going to start to think about time. That's when you start to pivot into time, okay? Because you start to understand, okay, if I want the previous day volume profile, well, you can switch to UTC. You can go to 0000, right? You can go to, and then you go to 24,000 or 2359.59. You pull the fixed range volume profile for those time periods, and then that's how you have the previous day value area high, value area low. You don't need an indicator for that, right? Let's say that you want the value area high and value area low for the RTH or US market session. You want to get the value area high, value area low, and point of control for when it was overnight trading, for when it was Asian session, for when it was the European session, right? So now you're able to blend volume with time, right? Open interest. Open interest going up means that people are opening positions, right? Open interest is the interest of borrowed money, right? So if the open interest is going up, that means that people are borrowing money. That means margin positions are opening. It doesn't mean that it's bullish or bearish, right? But the fundamental is open interest going up indicates that positions are opening. Open interest going down means that positions are closing, right? So then you start pairing that with price action and divergences, which leads me to the next thing that you listed, CVD divergences, and really any sort of oscillating data, open interest delta, CVD, obviously, RSI, MACD, all of those things are oscillating data, and divergences on those things mean different things, you know? And then last but not least, you got to throw in a little bit of math, right? Fibs are life. Life is fibs. So, you know, obviously going from left to right, swing low, swing high, swing high, swing low. Yeah, you should know how to pull fibs, right? You should be nerding out on fib levels so you understand what the 6.6 means, what the 618 means, what the 7.5 to 0.5 means, what the 8.86 to 6.18 means, what the .5 means, what the .25 means, what the 114 and the 8.86 means, right? But after that, you're going to graduate to how to connect the bing bong ding dong. So if it got rejected at this fib level, there's only 3 combinations where it would be bullish, the next fib level where it could bounce from, right? Otherwise, you're looking at a bearish scenario, right? If it gets rejected at that fib, but it bounces at this fib, there's only 2 places where it would make it bearish. Otherwise, it's bullish, right? So that's harmonics, Elliott wave. So just keep going. If there's anything that I listed and you don't understand, nerd out. Go to YouTube. Go to Google. You know, holler at me. Let's see it together. So let's get it. And even that, I just only scratched the surface. When you start nerding out and going down the rabbit hole, you're going to figure out a whole bunch of other shit. So, Bugatti. Don't do nothing crazy. I'll be back in like 14 hours. So I'll be back for pre-market. We'll do another 15-second alpha TA. If we're near the 121, you guys already know what it is. It's either I'm already in the short or we're waiting to short, right? RTH closed. So you guys know what I think about that gap over there. So if we creep up or we leave a bad high up there and we can hang out over there and it's an SFP to open up RTH, easy. Right? So, you know, depending on how far up or how far down we are, there's probably the gap play. Ideally, we go and clean that 121 first before we go down. So, all right, stay safe, Robinacci. Pedro, PSG, stand up. Your owner. Let's go, Small Whoopie. I'll see you guys early as fuck tomorrow. Sounds good? Pre-market. I'll be here like an hour before U.S. markets open. So, all right, y'all. Stay safe. There's no Houston today. No. We're going to go switch over to away mode. Yeah, everybody is busy, man. All the mods and, you know, a lot of people. We're all busy. We got a lot of cool stuff coming out for you guys next week. Love you guys. Stay safe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Can I get a ka-cha?